Alright guys, we're tying the feathered game changer today. This has quickly become a favorite fly pattern of mine, especially for your warm water species like smallmouth bass. Size it up, it's good for muskie. If you downsize it, it'd probably be good for trout too. Color combo I chose for today, black and purple. It's a great muddy water color because you can see dark colors better than light colors in muddy water. So this material right here is called Palmer Chenille. This is really good material to use as a support flash for your feather game changers. So when your feathers get wet, they're going to want to collapse a little bit. But this flash is a little bit bulkier, and it's going to keep that hackle from kind of like folding around the hook too much, so it's going to retain a good bit of bulk. It's really similar to the Blane Chocklett filler flash. So in order to help the taper, I just trimmed the Palmer chenille a little bit so that the chenilles in the front is going to be bulkier and longer than the ones in the back, closer to the tail. So now I'm coming in here with two feathers, one black, one purple. We're just going to wrap. Let me talk about the proportions real quick. So you want your flash to be about a fourth to a third of the hook shank. You want to be the flash, and then the front 2/3 to 3/4 you want to be your feathers. And then what I'm doing here is I tie both feathers, wrap them up, and then I cut off the purple one and then kept wrapping the black one all the way to the front. So I do that so that you can get kind of a primary color and a secondary color. So the primary color is black. So whatever your primary color is the one you're going to want to leave on. Your secondary color, which is purple, is the one I want to cut out. So now I finished the back hook there, and now we got 3 shanks, and these shanks are tied exactly like that back hook was. The body's exactly the same. So let's hit hyperspeed tie, and I'll see you guys once we get to the head. Now we're at the head, using a big 3/0 hook in order to keep the proportions on the fly correct. Now for this articulation, a lot of times on articulation, if I just use 2 hooks, I'll put a bead and have a little bit of length between my hooks. On the feather game changer, because I'm using those shanks, I just want a small loop, so I don't want a gap, no distance between the articulation. So now on the front hook, you do not want to call out your Palmer chenille after you tie it off. Just tie it off and leave it hanging there. We're going to do something called the complex twist here. We tied in both our feathers. So you cut the chenille at the same length as your feathers, and then you line up all 3 so that the stems and the course of the chenille are paired up, lined up together, and then you twist them up and brush it out, and this gives you a really bulky and more durable body. So this is going to be a lot bulkier than the other shanks that we did, which is what we want, because we want that taper. The head is a lot thicker than the tail. Wrap it up, leave about a quarter of the hook shank left for our head. Pick out the body. When you do this type of body, more of your fibers are gonna get trapped than if you did a traditional body like we did on the shanks. Now I'm coming in here with some guinea feathers. We're gonna use these as like the gills or the cheeks of the fly, because they just look awesome. And red looks really cool. So you want these feathers to be slightly shorter than the length of the front hook. You want them to go down about 2/3 down the hook. You don't want them to be too big. Now for the head, just using laser dub, we're doing 2 stacks on the bottom, 2 stacks on the top. With this laser dub, when you pull it out of the bag, all the fibers are pointing like every which way direction. So what you have to do is pull it in your fingers, stretch it in one direction. Just keep pulling it apart and putting it back together, and you'll align the fibers all going one direction. And then you'll get a nice clump that's easy to tie in. And then once you get it tied in, you got to come back, pick it out, and then brush it so that it looks good. And that's what we ran here. You can put eyes on this fly if you want, but I ran out of eyes, so I didn't put any on. This is a great predator fly, so go catch a giant on it.